Hello YouTube, this is Sportglad here, and me and my friends just got started into playing Vanguard. Great new game, just came out. Used to play, well, still do play Yu-Gi-Oh, but definitely not nearly as much as since this came out. This here is my Kagero deck, Goku Kagero to be exact, and here we go. So first off, we have your starting Vanguard, Lizard Soldier Conroe. Basically, if you play Kagero, this will be your starting Vanguard. No ands or buts about it. When another Kagero rides on top of it, you can call it out to a rear guard. Once he's there, you can counterblast one, retire it, and get a grade 1 or lower Kagero to your hand. This guy is really good. Probably one of the best starting Vanguards, other than Bartgall. Really good. Gets your perfect guards to your hand. Gets 8k vanillas. But mostly in this deck, you're going to want to be using him for Airmo. And we'll get to that once we get to the grade ones. So, going into the triggers, we have Dragon Monk Gangjo. Just your typical heal trigger. Run 4, because that's all we can do. Might as well. Next up, we have the draw triggers. Gatling Claw Dragon, definitely our better trigger than this chick. What he does, 4,000 attack, 5,000 shield. You can put him into your soul, and if you have a Kagero Vanguard, you can retire one of your rear guards. And you can do that for a counterblast. Yeah, you retire one grade 0. He's alright. I mean, it's just draw trigger, other than that. What he actually is good for is for hunting down starting Vanguards, like Conroe, or Bartgall, Lorenz Magus, stuff like that, things that pull themselves out. If you get this early on, you can snipe them off and make your opponent pissed off. It's always fun. Next we have our criticals, 4 crits. Demonic Dragon Mage Rakshasa, or however you pronounce that. 3,000 attack, 10,000. He actually has an effect. If he's on a rear guard, and during your main phase, if you put one of your opponent's rear guards into the drop zone, he gains an extra 3,000. Really, you're not going to be using the effect much. He's really just there for crits. That's about it. But if you happen to actually need him, he does it. Then we have 4 stand triggers, Lizard Soldier Ganlu. Kind of iffy on this one. I mean, I want to run more crits, so I may, once I can get hold of some tars, I may run 8 crits, may run 6 crits, 6 draws, don't really know. I'll have to test it out once I get tars, but yeah, these guys are kind of temporary. Alright, moving on to the grade ones. We have Embodiment of Armor Bar, just your standard 8k vanilla, 8,000 attack, 5,000 defense, whatnot. It's just really good for boosting, early game pushes, you know, stuff like that. We run 4 because we got him. Next up, what I was talking about earlier. Oh, wait, what's that? No, you get to stay back there. Jumping ahead of myself. 4 Airmos. What this guy does is, whenever he boosts one of your just when he boosts, you can ditch and the boost hits, you can ditch a card, draw a card. Really good, plays mind games with your opponent, forces them to waste cards out of their hand if they don't want you to draw. And so he's pretty much your main search off of Conroe, other than your perfect guards. Really good, forces cards out of your hand, out of your opponent's hand, or lets you draw into stuff you would rather need, or want, whatever. Alright, moving right along, one of my newer cards, 3 Demonic Dragon Mage Kimnada, 5,000 defense, 6,000 attack. He has an effect really similar to Gatling Claw Dragon. You can counterblast one, move him into the soul, and you retire one of your opponent's grade 1s. This is really good for sniping off opposing Airmos, AK vanillas. Basically, if it's giving your opponent more, then you want them to. Put that down, move it to the soul, and get rid of it. I only run 3. That's kind of the standard number. 3, so you don't run 4, or else you draw them too often, and no, it's just a 6,000 boost. But you run 3 because you still want to get them to your hand. Still want to see them, but just not all the time. Next up, your perfect guards. 2 Vanguard Bari, 6,000 tag, 0 defense. Whenever you spin the Guardian, drop a card from your hand, negate any attacks, or at least your whatever it is can't be hit. Basically, I only run 2 right now because I only have 2. He's been working out really well so far. I've only had him a really short amount of time, but he's already does so much work. Really, really good card. When I get more, I may run 3, I may run 4. I definitely run 4 once the cross rides come out in set 5 or set 6 since Bushiroad decided to be stupid. Anyway, grade 2s. This is Dragon Knight Nehalem, 10,000 attack, 5,000 defense. Vanilla, really good for putting pressure. Definitely one of the main guys you want to see backing up, being your Vanguard's wingman. Yeah, not much to say on there. Really good card. Alright, next up. 4 Berserk Dragons. This guy's really good. Love this card. He's basically the Kagero version of Blaster Blade, only his effect is a little different. Whenever he's put on the Vanguard or the rear guard, you can counterblast 2 and take out one of your opponent's grade 2 or lower rear guards. Always a really good power play if you have the the damage to do it. Really good. I like him. Next, for the more techie grade 2s, we have 2 Wyvern Strike Tejas, or Tejas. I'm from Texas, I'll call him Tejas. What he does, 8,000, but he has the option to attack your opponent's rear guard in the same column. Really good for hunting down Bark Gulls, stuff that's giving people boosts, kind of like Himnara and Gatling Claw, but really annoying to your opponent. Forces them to drop a lot of cards out of their hand if they want to keep it. Just really good card. But only 2. I mean, more than that, it's kind of gimmicky, and yeah. Next, 2 Dragon Knight Bergers, your 10k Interceptor. Really good late game to back up your Vanguard. People don't like to see 10ks on the field. They try to get rid of them as soon as possible. So if you wait for the late game to use these guys, they become really good once your opponent starts running out of resources. Yeah, not a lot to say about him, but I like him. He's good. Alright, next up, grade 3s. We have 4 Dragonic Overlord. Not my ace. That'll be coming up soon. He's a really, really good rear guard. 11k rear guards are always nice. Puts a lot of pressure on the opponent. His effect is really good if you can get it off. Counterblast 3, gains 5,000. If he hits a rear guard, he stands, but he loses Twin Drive. But honestly, you're going to want to be using him more in the rear guard circle anyway. So that whole Twin Drive losing ability, it doesn't really affect him. But yeah, really good rear guards. Other than that, well, we'll talk about him later after we get to the star of the show. 4 Dragon Monk Gokus. Great card. Definitely going to be your go-to Vanguard. What he does is whenever you trigger check into a grade 3, either another copy of him or Overlord, you get to retire one of your opponent's grade 1 rear guards. If you haven't noticed already, Kageros are basically revolve around picking off your opponent's rear guards, controlling the game, controlling how many cards they have in their hand by forcing them to block and stuff. Basically, once you have him on the field as your Vanguard, all the rest of these guys and all your Overlords basically just become glorified triggers. Yeah. You use the extra ones for perfect guards, for airmo. Yeah, probably the best setup you can have is having this as your Vanguard with an airmo backing him up. That way, That way, even if you hit and you check into a grade 3, you get to retire one, and then you can just drop the grade 3 you just got and replace it with something with the defense or something like that. Really, really good card. It's been doing really well in Japan, from what I can tell, and yeah, it's just really, really good card. So that's the deck, guys. Tell me what you think. This is my first Vanguard video, but hopefully I'll be able to get some more out. Hopefully I won't be having to use my phone every single time, because I'm sure the quality is not going to be that great. Been doing really well. The only people I really have to play with are my friends and a couple guys at my locals for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Are starting to get into this. And apparently I now have a Walmart with Vanguard cards, so woohoo! I don't have to order these online anymore. Thank gosh. But Goku Kagero, really good deck. Definitely tier 1 right now. Or at least tier 1.5 behind set 2 Royal Paladins. It's a really, really good investment. The deck really doesn't change that much over the next few sets, and it just stays competitive for a long time. So if you're getting into if you're coming from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like I am, or just want to try out something new, Goku Kagero is definitely a really good deck to try out. It doesn't cost all that much. I mean, you can basically get all of these from 2 of the trial decks. Once you have 2 of the trial decks, that'll give you 4 Overlords, 2 Gokus, all the triggers you need. The only things you're gonna have to get outside is Conroe, Gatling Claws if you want them, or you can just roll with Monikas. I mean, it's really kind of an option. Other things that didn't come with it were, where'd it go? Yeah, Kimnaras. Really, those are only going to cost you about $2-3 each, or maybe 5. I don't know. Depends on how popular this card game gets. It's a lot. This whole entire thing is a lot cheaper than Yu-Gi-Oh! Thank goodness. I mean, I'm always on a budget. That's why I run Chainburn. People don't like me. Sad face. The bars are going to cost you about $20 each. I got a pretty good deal and got 2 of them for 30. Yeah, those are probably going to be your main expenses. That and Goku. Extra Gokus, you typically run around $10 each. So, the whole entire deck is probably only going to cost you, like, what is that, 40, 60, 80, probably around 100. A little bit more, not that bad. If you're kind of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Mogul, just drop a Maxi, and boom, you have a pretty good Vanguard deck. So, yeah, that's pretty much the video, guys. Comment if you feel like it, rate if you're feeling happy, if you're feeling opinionated, subscribe if you want to. I wouldn't blame you if you don't. Videos probably won't be that good, and I don't really care. So, if you want to subscribe, do so. But yeah, that's the deck. Thanks for watching. Bye.